Hi, I'm Jason Inman, and I like to read comic books. That's why this week I decided to pick who I think are the best 5 artists of 2013. Who are the creme de la creme of comic book artists? But before I get to that, let's don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. Now, I picked who I think, in my personal opinion, are the 5 best artists out there working right now. But there are a lot of artists out there that almost made it into my list, so much so that I thought I had to give them honorable mentions. David Aja of Hawkeye, Mike Allred of FF, Gabriel Rodriguez in his final year of Lock and Key, and Ryan Stegman of Superior Spider-Man. They almost made my top 5. So close, guys. Maybe next year. Now let's get on to the list. My number 5. Number 5, Nicola Scott. This is an artist, a comic book artist out there right now that probably won't be on many people's lists, and that's a shame because she is the powerhouse, struggling superhero artist that not many people knows about, but she consistently delivers great work week after week after week. She draws the series Earth 2, not every issue, but most of the issues. And her line work is so simple, her panel work is so dynamic. She has kept this series from becoming stagnant. She has an artistic style that is very similar to Ivan Rice, and she has some power. The power that she gives her characters are very much like Dan Jurgens. Plus, you have to give it to her because she was the one that redesigned the old 1940s Earth 2 characters into these badass, really cool looking costumes. And let's face facts. 1, she's a unicorn, she's a woman, and 2, not only is she a woman artist, she is also working in superhero comics. She's a woman working in superhero comics. Now, that didn't bump her on this list. She got on this list because Earth 2 is fantastic. Her artistic work in Earth 2 is fantastic. If you are not buying this book, you should be buying this book simply because of her beautiful pencils. And that's why Nicola Scott is my number 5. Number 4, Marcos Martin. Now, I've been a fan of Marcos Martin for a long time. Not only has he had some amazing work on Amazing Spider-Man, he also did a really amazing series with Brian K. Vaughan called The Oath several years ago. Brilliant work. But he is number 4 in 2013 simply for the fact that he did The Private Eye, which is the DRM-free series that him and Brian K. Vaughan are just releasing on their website. They put it on their website and they're just like, pay how much you want. That would get him on this list, just that alone. But here's the thing. He draws the entire series in landscape. The entire series is designed to be read on a tablet. And that's brilliant. It's trend-setting. It's something that I hope we see more of in the future. Now, a lot of people would say that his drawing is too simple and it's too retro. That's definitely the case, but you cannot deny the simple fact of how well he conveys emotions and how well he conveys action from panel to panel. There is a fluidity with Marcos Martin. And yes, it sort of looks as a 1970s John Romita Sr. vibe, but you're drawn in. I mean, look at the eyes on his figures. You get drawn into his figures, and here's hoping. I mean, I would love to see a Marcos Martin Batman someday. I would love to see a Marcos Martin, say, like Swamp Thing. Here's hoping Marcos Martin gets to branch out more outside of Marvel, and we get to see him do some more characters. I see nothing but good things in Marcos Martin's future. That's why he is number 4. Number 3, Fiona Staples. Fiona Staples is the artist of a little book that you might have heard of called Saga. Yeah, probably one of the most popular comic books out there. The one book that everybody reading comic books right now agrees is good. I have not heard anybody say that this book is not good. And one of the main reasons that it's so amazing is Fiona Staples' amazing artwork. Not only is she the penciler on this, not only is she the colorist in this, but she also, there is the narrator who is the small baby, spoilers, in the series, and her text happens in the artwork. That is Fiona Staples' handwriting. That is her handwriting. So she letters parts of the book into her art. Saga looks like a fairy tale. I know it's a very science fiction and tale, but it looks like a fairy tale. It looks like simple paintings that are there, and their use of color is so striking. She loves to develop these interesting contrasts, and especially when she's doing landscape, she doesn't detail every single landscape in, like most artists would ink themselves to death by portraying shadows and light, but she just lets the colors handle it, and she just inks the main characters, which lets the main characters pop out from the background and lets you follow the action more and gives it more, well, I hate to say it, repeat myself, more of a fairy tale type setting. Fiona Staples is definitely one of the best artists out there right now, and this is definitely one of the best books. That is why she is number 3. Number 2, Greg Capullo. A long time ago in a comic book store far away, young little Jason was looking in a comic book store, and he looked around and he saw this guy with a bright red cape and a shoestring in his face, and he looked in this book, and it was called Spawn, and it was drawn by a guy named Greg Capullo. Now, at the time, I was buying that book, and hormones were going. That's why you go for Spawn, because it's just like, I'm really angry at the world. Arr! And that's what really got me into that book. But the art by Greg Capullo at the time was so fantastic, so amazing, that I bought that book way longer than I should have because the art was so fantastic. And I thought at the time, there is no way that Greg Capullo ever tops this. There is no way. Well, guess what, friends? He has. Batman. The New 52 Batman by Greg Capullo is the best artwork of his entire career. It is so fantastic. I've said in many of my Jason Reads Comics videos that I am not a huge fan of Zero Year, but the thing that holds me into Zero Year is Greg Capullo. His use of shadows and lighting is amazing. You can tell that he has unbridled joy when he draws and the certain angles that he chooses. And on Fat Man on Batman, he said to Kevin Smith once that he hates scripts where he gets every detail. So Scott Snyder used to originally send him scripts of his like low angle, high angle, wide angle, close up. And he told Scott Snyder to basically stop sending him that way. So all the angles, all the pacing is Greg Capullo. So if you ever wonder why you're so entrenched in a Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman, that is why. His design is amazing. His Batman is amazing. Here's hoping that DC hold on to Greg Capullo for a long time, and we get to keep more and more amazing artwork out of this guy. I hope his career just keeps going. He is at the top of his game right now, and that is why he is my number 2. But who is my number 1, you ask? My number 1 is Sean Murphy. You might be asking, why is Sean Murphy the number 1 artist of 2013? Didn't Punk Rock Jesus come out in 2012? Well, you're right on that, but it concluded in 2013, so I'm going to count it. If you have not read Punk Rock Jesus is a masterpiece, completely created by Sean Murphy, but it's the artwork that draws you in. The story is really good, but the artwork is like a slap against the face. He's also currently doing The Wake with Scott Snyder. It's something about Scott Snyder, I guess, this year. He is cultivating the artist. He's got the number 2 artist and he's got the number 1 artist. But in The Wake, the simplest way to describe Sean Murphy's style is his art is fantastic in the way that he just captures human faces. Their eyes really, like, you feel like you're reading this book and you can see into their souls. But also, he draws it in a way that you still get a sketchiness style to it, so it still looks like it's a comic book drawing. So it's not photorealistic, of course. It doesn't look like me, but it looks amazing. It's just so good. I cannot describe. There is nobody out there right now doing action the way that Sean Murphy is doing action, and that is why he is my number 1, the best comic book artist in 2013. And those were all my choices for the best comic book artists of 2013. As always, go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website, where they know that you love comic books and we do too. Leave a comment below and tell me what you thought about my choices for the top 5. Also, next week, I'm going to be doing the top 5 writers of 2013. So leave me a suggestion below about who you think I should pick as the best writer of 2013. I'm going to look through your comments. I'm going to consult the oracles, the spirits above, and come up with my own list too, and we can contrast and compare. Let's start a comic book debate downstairs, as I like to call the comments, right? Hope you liked it. Please like, favorite, and subscribe, and please share this video. I'm on Google Plus now. Share it. I'm on Tumblr. Come say hello. The more that you share these videos, the more the love gets out of our love for comic books, and it's all because of you. I do these videos for you. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm Jason Inman. Be seen, you.
K9 and Sarah Jane were his friends. Would you like a jelly baby? The 4th Doctor said. Defeated the Black Guardian and the Master's lies. Fell from a satellite dish and then he died.
Hey guys, it's our time, our unedited time after the end page panel thing. What'd you think of my list? Think it was good? I had a tough time coming up with that list. I worked really hard on it, and took a lot of moments, and I simply just had to think about why I chose Sean Murphy, and it was because he made the most lasting impact. And, you know, I wanted to reward Nicola Scott because I know that she won't be on a lot of lists, and, you know, Earth 2 has always been fantastic. It's always looked fantastic, so I felt that she needed to get the recognition, so that's why I went with her. I'm working on a couple ideas right now. Of course, I told you last week about the podcast that's still going full steam ahead. May not happen until the end of January. We'll see. You know, developments are happening. But I've come up with an interesting idea for a weekly show. And it would sort of have to do with pop culture. I don't want to give too much away, but it would be me and a rotating guest every week talking about pop culture-y things. And if you think that's something you think you'd like, then, you know, tell me downstairs. Tell me in the comments downstairs if you think that's something cool. But also, don't forget to give me your best writer. I want to know exactly who you think the best writer of 2013 is, because I want to see who you think it is, and, you know, you'll spark me ideas. Because if enough people pick one writer, I'm going to be like, maybe I should go with this guy, or maybe I should read his work again. I've got a couple ideas, but I am kind of like just scattered to the wind. I've got like 20 names that I'm kind of like, maybe here, maybe her, maybe him, maybe that guy. You know, maybe I should just give it all to Shakespeare. I don't know. We'll just go. We'll just see what it is. All right, you know, that's all I got. Did you like these kind of videos? Cool. Hey, thanks for watching. Thank you to you guys who stick around all the way to the end, to the vlog part. By the way, you like my new t-shirt? $10 online. That's awesome. That's a deal. By the way, Arrow season finale. Did you see it? It's good stuff. Man, it's good stuff. Wow. Go away. Be happy. That's all I got for you.